Hi, I'm Tony, and today we're going to learn how to stitch and flip. So, what is stitch and flip? That is where you take one piece of fabric and put it over top of another piece of fabric, right side to right side, and you're sewing a diagonal corner and then ironing it away. It's a great easy method in order to do all sorts of triangles and things and all over the things. It's just a really easy method. There's a lot of patterns out there that use a stitch and flip. Sometimes the instructions can't be that great, so let me show you how to do it. So for stitch and flip, let's say if we have this piece here and we want to put it right here with an angle here so that it'll look like this whenever it's all completed. How we do that is first we go, of course, right side to right side, but we want to draw a diagonal line directly in the center. And you can do this with any ruler at all. So we're putting a line right into the center, just like that. And then we're going to lay it on top. And I'm going to put a little pin in it just to hold it in place. And then we're going to take this to the sewing machine and we're going to sew a line from here to here. So we're going to sew a line following along that line that we just drew. Now I'm using black thread so you can see my thread after I sew it. And as you can see, it's not a perfectly straight line. I got a little bit of wibble wobble in there. That's fine. It's perfectly fine. But I would suggest using either a neutral thread or thread that's going to blend into one of the fabrics. So then what we want to do is we want to trim a 1/4 inch away from the line that we just did. And then we're going to iron this either to one side or open. So you can iron this to a side. I normally iron it towards the triangle, or you can iron this open. And the open seams, in this case, actually allow you to lay this out a little bit nicer, especially if you have a whole bunch of these kinds of seams and you don't want to worry about too much bulk. And there is our stitch and flip. So what happens when we have a case like this? When we have a larger piece of fabric and we're really only adding on this little bit in the bottom corner. So let's say if I want to what's called snowball this, and I want to put a little tiny little triangle in that bottom corner. Well, it's the same thing. So we're going to draw a line where we want to do our seam. So let's draw our line from corner to corner. So right here is where I want to sew this line. So we've drawn our line. Now, just like with the last one, I'm going to sew along this drawn line. All right, I have my seam. I've sewn along that edge where I've drawn the line. Just like with the last one, we want to trim away a 1/4 inch past where we drew that line. Don't cut it on this side. I've actually done that once. You want to trim it away from where you're going to go so you have that extra bulk, and then we're going to iron it. Just like with the first one, you can either iron, I like to iron towards that triangle, or if you want to make sure that you don't have a lot of bulk, you can iron it open. And as you see, this is my cheater method for ironing it open. I iron it towards the one side, and then I iron my open seam. I find it just a little bit easier whenever you're ironing it open. And that is how you stitch and flip. It's that easy. It's just, you stick it on there, you draw a line, you stitch it, you flip it, you iron it, and then you're done. That's why it's called stitch and flip. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like my YouTube as well as my Facebook, Quite Nerdy Quilters Facebook group, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, can't forget about Instagram, and don't forget I do stream live on Twitch. I put my schedule on Mondays on my social media, so if you want to come and hang out with me live while I'm streaming, feel free to pop on in. We have a lot of fun.